making that size, making that side a minimum of 4,000 versus that side a minimum of 6.
Based on existing fabric. So a lot of times the lot sizes aren't gonna change because it's pretty much built out. You might get ones that actually are gonna split,
Yeah.
but you're not really gonna create a lot of new lots from raw land. So the fabric is already pretty much set in Poughkeepsie because it's been so well established. So the lot sizes down here, the minimum lot size reflects the fabric down there. And then the minimum lot size up there, you can just even tell by looking at the lots, they're much smaller.
Yeah.
Yep, yep,
So if you're in R1
yep,
and if the house next door to you burns down,
yep.
can they take that lot then and make it into 2 lots?
If it's more than 12,000 square feet. So, because the minimum lot size is 6,000 square feet. So they'd have to have more.
Change like the integrity of like some of the neighborhoods.
There are 6,000 square foot lots within that area now. It's not like it's only, 10,000 square foot lots. There are lots that are even 6,000 square feet. So you don't ever start with the largest lot and say, we're gonna set the standard there, because it makes everything underneath it non-conforming.
I think just as a point of clarification, this is the first and the second slide, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we cover a lot of this as the presentation goes on. I mean, Matt and I and everyone, I mean, we'd be happy to stay here and answer questions all evening after the presentation, but I think it would be good if we could move forward with the
Can I just
presentation.
ask one thing? 10,000 square feet or 6,000 square feet, is that like a quarter of an acre?
There's 43,560 square feet in an acre. So pretty close to being a quarter of an acre. Yep. All right.
Take it away.
So this is an example, just an example that when you take a look at the code, if you haven't already, hopefully you have, it's been out there for a while. This is every district, every one of the residential and the mixed-use district has a spread like this that has basically all the information from a dimensional standpoint on that spread. So instead of 6 pages of text, now you have 2 pages of tables and graphics. Makes it a lot more user-friendly. The mixed-use districts, same type of thing. These are the mixed-use districts. You can see that at the top, you had basically just commercial districts. You couldn't do anything in them for the most part, except for commercial development. And then you had the downtown districts here. And then you also had the light industrial, the general industrial, and the research and development. So you can see how they funneled into combined districts that are there. And again, just like we did with the residential districts, there's a spread on the far left side. There's a purpose statement of what the intent and purpose of that district is, and then all the dimensional requirements that go along with that particular district. And then we also have a series of referred to as special districts. The waterfront district, the waterfront transit-oriented development district. You also had a hospital medical / and then research and development. All of those districts, those special districts, for the most part, just converted into new names, with the exception of the HM and the RD that converted into what we're calling as the campus development district. And you can see on the CD, which is the green here, is representative of that particular district. So not much really changed at all with these districts. They got reformatted. There was a couple of tweaks that we wanted to make sure that we made, like some of these districts had their own standards in them that only pertain to those districts, or they had uses that you had to find those uses in that district. What we've done is we've pulled that out, really didn't change it, and consolidated that into what we refer to as a master principal use table. So all the uses are in these tables where you can have, the use that you're looking for, the districts across the top, it'll tell you what's permitted, what's specially permitted in each one of the districts.
Question I've had is, there's been multiple requests for a special designation for the historic districts, which we would like them all to be zoned similarly, because they all have similar properties and similar value in the city. Have you guys incorporated any of that feedback?
That was not part of the strategic amendments. We didn't touch the historic district at all.
They came to some of the meetings.
Yeah, but what I was saying is that as part of this project, That was not part of the scope of this project to look at the historic districts. So we didn't touch those at all.
The Academy Street Historic District got a big upzoning versus the other districts.
They actually got down zone.
We wanted that zone to match the other districts.
Can we
It
just,
did get down zone.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
can you continue the
Yeah,
presentation?
absolutely.
Because I would like at the end to capture all of these comments so we can take them into consideration instead of continuing to stop and
Sure.
answer questions.
Good idea. So there were some existing graphics in your special districts. We didn't change them. It's all we did is pulled them into the new format for these special districts, which are these districts here. So these districts really didn't change really much at all, with the exception of the gateway district. I don't know if you remember this blue district up here. It had districts within districts, which was really confusing, I think, for folks, because it was the gateway district, but then if you looked at it, there were like 3 other districts within that. We consolidated that into one overall gateway district. As I mentioned, the use table, if you've looked at the plan, you've already seen this, or the document. There's 3 spreads of all of the uses, and anything that you want to find out about a use for any of the districts are in this table. You don't necessarily go to the district anymore and try to figure out where the uses are. They're all consolidated within this color-coded district. And these color codes match up with the map as well for the districts. So some other key, these are some of the other things I think, if I'm correct, Joe put this on your handout as well, so you can take this with you. There's also a place to leave comments on these as well. You know, cannabis, I think, is one thing that is brand new to the code, because as we all know, cannabis was legalized a few years ago, and now that we need to accommodate where those uses are permitted within the city. So from a recreational use standpoint, it's permitted at the MU3 and the PID, and that's also shown on the map. So, and also not allowed near schools and parks and things like that. So that's all consistent with state law. Okay, so hopefully that provided a good overview. So I'm gonna be honest with you, I came in here tonight assuming that probably most folks, because this has been going on for quite some time, I assume that you probably looked at the code that's been out there. We're more than happy to answer any questions. Love your feedback. Yes, sir.
Hi, I'd like some changes on the mixed use. My concern is, I live in an RNC. It's gonna be turned into an RNC.
RNC, yeah.
I-
Speak up,
Huh?
speak up, please.
Yes. I'll stand up.
There we go.
I'm Gary Kowalski. I'm a longtime resident here. My concern for the RNC, and I think it's been overlooked heavily, these houses are built before 1940. And allowing these to go for RNC, and most of the, in the 7th Ward, the 6th Ward, the 5th Ward, the 3rd Ward, the 1st Ward, I don't understand how they can become 2, 3, 4 single-family houses and 2-family become double the amount of density in those, on those lots. It's a quality of life issue. What you're giving up is basically privacy outside. These are close together. These properties were built at the time when nobody had a car, or maybe cars were being invented, and maybe one car per household, and one driveway. And now households have, 2, 3 cars, and they're parking on the street, and there's no room left. So if you allow the density to happen, and that's gonna be a big issue, that's gonna be a big, big problem. You have balloon frame structures, everything built before 1940 is balloon frame structure, most of them are. In other words, a balloon frame structure, when they built these houses, there was no Home Depot, there was no, the framing was milled directly from the mill. They logged from the logs, and they actually cut these in full lengths from